So now that we've covered camera work, camera angles, camera techniques, now we're going to look at lighting. The formatting of this is very similar to the formatting of the camera angles. So we're going to look at 12 different lighting techniques used in film and television. So the first one is natural lighting. Natural lighting obviously is just using the natural light that's found around you. There's no additional lighting in this scene here. They just used the sunlight that was up in the sky, light that perhaps was reflecting off the water, whatever natural light there was to use. Key lighting is a primary source of light. The key light is hitting Mr. Jackman here. That's Hugh Jackman, right? I think so. If you're familiar with three-point lighting, you have a key light, you have a fill light, and then you have a backlight. But this one's just using one of the three, just a key light. You can see it's a lot of shadows on the other side of the face, nothing lighting from behind, so just a single key light there. High key lighting is using basically a key light to, or key lighting your entire scene. So it's high contrast, it's high light, highlighting. So it's pretty much a well lit scene. Low key lighting, aside from Thor's brother, which is of course Loki. Get it? Thank you very much. That uses a lot of shadows, a lot of contrasting and darkness within the scene. You can see there's some light coming in from the window, lighting the desk. There's some light back here, but the overall scene is lit very low, so the key is evenly low across the scene. Fill lighting, I talked a little bit about key light, which is lighting most of his face. We have a fill light that's lighting the other side of the face, but not as drastically. And then there's a hair light or backlight coming in. You can see the back of the hair being lit back there. So this is the fill light here. You can also see it's an upside down triangle almost. It's called Rembrandt lighting because the artist Rembrandt used to use this technique a lot in his portraits that he'd paint, where you would see on the fill light side. Now he didn't have key lights and fill lights back then, but in cinematography, your fill light will light up pretty much like an upside down triangle underneath the eye. Backlighting, you can see here, there's really not much light coming in from the front. Everything's coming from behind. You can see him lit from behind. His ear is translucent. You can see the hair being lit along the edges, his shoulders. So there's just light coming from back as backlighting would dictate. Next we have practical lighting. Practical lights on a set are the lights that you see in the scene. So they're lamps, they're candles, they're flashlights. So anything that is in the scene is practical lighting. So this scene is lit with just actual lights that were in the room. No additional professional lighting was used to light the scene. Just the lamp here, you can see is lighting him. There's a lot of these colored lights in the background, other table lamps also lighting the scene. So practical lighting, again, is just lighting of practical objects that are in the scene. Hard lighting, harsh source of light that can be created with a direct beam. So this is pretty much being harshly lit here. There's not a whole lot. There's a little bit of shadowing, but not a whole lot. It's pretty focused lighting. You can see where the lighting is being hit here, as opposed to the soft lighting, which is just a softening of the overall lighting of the scene. Now that's not really done with lighting per se. I mean, lighting obviously is part of it, but it's basically done in post-production, kind of softening the overall feel of the scene. So this is a very soft feel with soft muted colors. This is very harsh, hard lighting with very vivid colors. And then the final slide, we have bounce lighting. You can see here a scene from one of the Harry Potter movies where they're using this giant white foam board to bounce the light coming down here. So the lighting is coming from above, lighting is bouncing off the card and getting the characters in the face to represent nighttime. So you can have light coming from above, maybe a moon or something, and then some light, not as harsh of a light, coming in from the bounce. Side lighting, just like it says, lighting from the side, basically. So we're getting some side light here. You can see on this side of his face, it's darker, even though we have a practical, a lamp back here, providing some light, but he's mostly lit from the side. And then finally we have motivated lighting. So a motivated light means, so we have this scene here where we see the character and we see this light coming in or coming out from inside this window. So what our mind tells us is, okay, so there's light on inside this house. This light is coming from inside the house and coming out. It's really not that. It's really a professional light, a pretty bright one, in fact, that is placed in the house, shooting out the window. But we get the impression that the light is coming from the window. This street light here is a practical light, it's not giving much light at all. The light is just being motivated from this window. In other words, we're being fooled to think that this light is actually coming from the window when it's actually not. It's actually another light inside there that's made to look like it's just natural lighting coming from the window. Okay, so the assignment is just one part. You're going to take photos again with your phone, submit on a Google Doc or Google Slides. Again, I'll take either one, whichever is easier for you to do. Again, horizontal orientation only. So a little bit different with this one because we've covered 12 different techniques, 3 per slide. Slides 44 through 47, choose one technique per slide. So you're going to choose one from this slide, one from this slide, one from this slide, and one from this. And those will be your four techniques in total. Use lights you can find around your house. Definitely be creative, or in some instances use natural sunlight. Obviously, for natural lighting, you would use sunlight. You could probably do some high-key lighting outside with sunlight. Okay, light your subject, choosing a sibling, a stuffed animal, whatever you want as your subject, according to each of the 4 lighting techniques you chose, and take a photo of that. Again, horizontal orientation only, nothing vertical. And then finally, label each photo so I know which technique you're creating. So again, one from this side, one from this slide, one from this, one from this. So you're going to submit 4 photos, labeled photos that represent 4 different techniques here. Submit that in Unified Classroom, and it is due by the end of the day, Tuesday. So any questions? That's pretty straightforward, I think. But any questions, please let me know. I know we've been having issues with Unified Classroom. Hopefully those get resolved. We're just going to work our way through it the best that we can. So thank you for several of you sending me emails with concerns, and keep doing that if you have any questions, concerned, or just something you're not clear about. Thanks.